Hello guys, now today we are going to see the classification of invertebrates. Uh, See, if you see the invertebrates, it's the biggest diverse animals or the organisms which is present on the earth. If you see, there are two different phyla, or what do we call the types of the animal kingdom, that is invertebrates and vertebrates. So invertebrates, which are they? These are having no any backbone, or backbone is absent, and in vertebrates the backbone is present. Now in the invertebrates there are around 8 different phyla are there. Okay, it starts from the porifera, cnidarians, is it? Then the different examples are there of these phyla, like roundworm, flatworm, mollusk, annelids, arthropods, echinoderms. And then finally in the vertebrates the chordates are there. Now what is invertebrate? Invertebrates are the animals that do not have backbones. 97% of animal kingdom is made up of invertebrates. Some, like, just imagine the total content of animals which is present on earth. Out of that, 97% means only 3%, remaining 3% are from vertebrates. Some can be found in ponds, ocean, and other water environment. Insects and some other invertebrates have the exoskeleton, and that exoskeleton is very hard, and that exoskeleton is the outer covering of that organism, which protects the animal body and give it shape, is it? So first phyla, if you see, that is the porifera. The example is sponges. So porifera, the porous nature of organism. Okay, so what is the characteristic? They live in the water. Okay, so mostly these animals are found in oceans, that means the salt water or marine water, and the some of them are only found in freshwater sponges, or like we can say freshwater. Okay, so they looks like a plant but they are animals. So sponges stay fixed in one place, and so that is called it as sessile. The position or the activity that they perform, like they are fixed at the one place, they don't move, they don't locomotion, they don't have locomotion property, so that is called it as sessile animals. Their body are full of spores, and their skeleton is made up of a spiny fibers or rubbery spongins. And so these spiky fibers are called, or spiny fibers are called it as spicules. The sponges are divided into classes according to the type of spinules or spicules, and because of that around 5000 species are there. At least up till date we found the 5000 species. Water flows through the pores of their body, aided by flagella, and which enables them to catch their prey, okay, or they catch their food. The sponges can reproduce sexually, okay, through budding system, like gemmules form and then another spongy grows up. A new spongy grows from the pieces of an old spongy. Most sponges that reproduce sexually are hermaphrodites, meaning that they have both eggs and sperms. Okay, the sperms are released into the water. The sperm floats until they are drawn into another spongy where they fertilize the egg, okay, of the another spongy. The larva develops in the spongy, leaves spongy, and settle to the bottom where it grows into the adult. So this is how the looks like these sponges. Okay, next phyla is cnidaria. The examples are corals, hydras, and jellyfish. Okay, so this is the hydra. You can see that most of the stem cell study currently are working on these hydra species because they have a stem cells property. Okay, throughout the lifetime a single cell can grow into the full organism. That property is called it as totipotent property. Okay, and so jellyfish is also belongs to cnidarian. You can see that it's the most beautiful things which is seen in the ocean is from the cnidarian phyla. Okay, So what are the characteristics? Cnidaria comes comes from the Greek word that is natal. All cnidarians have stinging cells, okay, called nematocyte, okay, and it is the tentacles are there where the nematocysts are present, and they are surrounding to their mouth. So cnidarians are most complex than the sponges. They have complex tissue, a gut for digesting food, and the nervous system they have. They comes in two body shape. The one is medusa and the other one is polyp. So the polyp is actually sessile, means it is stayed on the one phase, or it is stay on the ground fixed, okay, at the bottom, and so it is the vase shaped, okay. You can see here it is the this one, okay. You can see it is the polyp shaped jellyfish or polyp shaped animal, and if it is floating, then it is looks like this one, the jellyfish, okay. So the another one is medusa, the free swimming and bell shaped organism. Cnidarian reproduce both sexually and asexually. Polyp forms reproduce asexually by budding, and some polyps, which are sessile, also reproduce sexually by releasing sperms or eggs. Medusa, which is free floating, forms have a two-stage life cycle in which they reproduce both sexually and asexually. Like sea anemones and corals are also there. They are also example of cnidarian. They are polyps their entire life, like they are sessile, okay, they are attached, the anemones. uh, they looks like brightly colored flowers, like this is one, okay, okay, anemones like this one. They live in colonies. They have soft tube like body with a single opening surrounded by arm like parts called tentacles. So these are the tentacles, okay. I hope so you got this one. And then next one is the hydra. So they live in a freshwater. Specifically, hydras are freshwater organisms. They spend their entire life as a polyp, okay. They are attached to some surface. They are sessile. Hydras have tentacles that catch their food. They move from place to place. Hydra are very small animals, reproduce asexually by budding. Now next one is the jellyfish. Now they spend most of their lifetime as a medusa, okay, like they are flowing from one place to another place, okay. They are free floating organism, and they swim. The jellyfish catch shrimp, fish, and other animals in its tentacles also. They reproduce sexually to produce polyps first, and then they become a medusa. Then each polyp reproduces asexually to form new medusa. The next ones are worms, okay. There are examples like flatworm, roundworm, and segmented worm. These are belongs to Platyhelminthes phyla, okay, flatworms. See, for the search of their food, they are long, flattened bodies with the organs and the system. They have a head and a tail and flattened body, so that's why it is called it as bilateral, okay. That's why it is called it as bilateral. Planaria, okay, planaria is one of the example which is free living organism. The other example is tapeworm, okay. The tapeworms are basically parasite. They need host to grow. Each segment, they have a segmented body. Each segment contains sperms and eggs. When they fertilize, when they reproduce sexually, when fertilized eggs fill segments, it breaks off and pass out with the waste of host, okay. And can their eggs are up to the 80,000 eggs per segment. So see how gradually they reproduce themselves. They lack digestive system basically and absorb nutrient from the host intestine. So because of that only they are live in the viscera of the animal or the digestive tract of the animal. These are how they looks like, the flatworm, okay. Most of the cattle digestive disease are because of these flatworm, cattles. Next worm is roundworm or nematoda, phylum nematodes. These roundworms, they have rounded bodies. The body is a tube within the tube. Okay, that is digestive tract has both mouth and the anus. So they live in the damp places. They can also live inside humans and other animals. So they are parasites also. The one is heartworms, Dirofilaria emetis. These heartworms, why it is called as heartworm? Because they it infects cardiac tissue, and they passes by mosquito bites also to the animal. They too can make peoples and other animals sick. Diets vary with some roundworms. They being decomposers. Some predators are there, and some of them are parasitic. Most widespread animals are the roundworms on Earth. Billions can live in just 1 acres of soil. So see how great what do we call it? The how great their numbers are or reproduction capabilities are. And the next phyla is annelids. The annelids are basically called as segmented worms. The first example is earthworm, okay, oligochaetes or leeches or marine worms belongs to this group. Their body are divided into repeating segment, okay, repeating segment, and each segment have nerve cell, vessel, parts of the digestive tract, and the coelom. Coelom is the body cavity. Full body cavity is called it as digestive tract. Okay. Next one is they have a closed circulatory system and complete digestive system with two body openings. One is anus and other one is mouth. They prefer burrowing through moist soil. So they are under the ground, like in superficial layer of soil, and this allows them to move easily and keep them from drying it out. Earthworm have more than 100 body segments. The use of external bristle like a CT. Bristle like a CT means a very short hair like a structures are there. Very short hair, brush like structure, and muscles to move. They use these bristle like CT. CT means hair like structure, and muscles to move them from one place to another. They eat organic material like degrading material in the soil. They exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen through mucus covered skin. So that's why for farming the earthworm is very important. It makes soil fertile. Okay, this is the structure of earthworm. uh, the another worm is segmented worm, like the another example is leech. You all know that it is having a flat bodies with a sucking disc at the both ends and can store enormous amount of food for mouth, okay, for month. Sorry, they secrete heparin components, so whatever blood they absorb, it remains in a liquid state. It does not solidify because of heparin, okay, and which prevents the blood from clotting. The another is marine worms. They use bristles or CT for moving, like this one. Can you see these bristle like CTs are there? We cannot call them as limbs, or we cannot call them as a the pair of legs, okay, because they are underdeveloped. Is it? Some are filter feeders, some eats plants or rotting material, and some are predator or parasites. Next one is mollusca. The phylum Mollusca contains octopi or octopus, squids, slugs, snails, and bivalves. So the mollusca has a soft body usually covered by the hard shell, and rough tongue, radula it is called, a muscular foot, and the mantle, a thin layer of tissue that covers the mollusk soft body and secrete the shell. Okay, so you just, I hope so you understood this one. Just draw the diagram of earthworm. Meanwhile, I'll give you 2 minutes to draw this diagram. I hope so you have drawn this diagram because it is very important for your examination. Okay, now we were at the mollusca group. The snails, they are aquatic basically. You all know that they have a gills for gas exchange, and land mollusks basically have a lungs. So they develop lungs also for a gaseous exchange. A snail is the mollusk with a single hard shell. The clam has a two shell joined together by hinge. The clam shrimp, okay, the another type of mollusk. The squids and octopi are also mollusks. Their hard shell are very small, but they are they are inside the organism. Okay, squids and octopus. The what are the characteristic? They have a mantle, they have a lungs and gills. They have many mollusks use radula or the scratchy tongue like organ to help them eat. Some have an open circulatory system which washed blood over the organs and lack blood vessels. Okay, this is one of the type of mollusca. You know that in our college, we many times in rainy season we used to observe these type of African giant snail on the fencing or on the plant of these college area. They are the paste like a thing on the plant. They survive over there. They do eat plant what do we call the whatever extractions from the plant or whatever bacterial fungal layers on the plant, and these are also called it as gastropods. So most have one shell, okay, live in the water or on a land, move by gliding their large muscular foot along a trail, okay, of mucus. So they actually remains the trail of the mucus, right? These are some of the example, okay, slugs and snails. Types of mollusca, sometimes they are bivalved, okay, two carapace or two walls are there, what we call it as shrimp like structure, have two shells, large muscles open and closed shells half. Water animals that filter the feed, okay, they are filter feeder, water mollusk. They use gills to remove food from the water. Okay, this is the bivalve how they looks like. Now the another one mollusca is cephalopods. Like the cephalopod is the class of that phyla, the and it is called also called it as the octopi or squid. You must have seen these organisms. They are they are looks like very fantastic actually, and sometimes they are scary also. So squid is the giant fish we call, but it is not a fish, it is the invertebrate. The another class which is the biggest group of invertebrate, like we can say that the most of the which organism or which class is actually having a great organism on earth, the arthropod. They contains insects, spiders, ticks, mites, centipede, millipedes and also crustaceans. Okay, they belongs to phyla arthropod. Next, what are the characters? Arthropods have a group of invertebrates, okay, with joint appendages such as claws, legs and antenna, and a hard exoskeleton that protects the arthropod. Also have bilateral symmetry. More than 1 million species of arthropods have been discovered currently. As it grows, it molds and shades its old exoskeleton. Okay, then it grows a new exoskeleton that allows its body to continue to grow. Now, insects characteristic. Insects have adapted to living almost everywhere. Over 7 lakhs, okay, over 7 million, like we can say, species have been classified so far. The insect's body has a 3 parts. One is head, thorax and abdomen. The head has one pair of antenna and two compound eyes developed for a sensation. So it is called it as sense organ, the antenna. Thorax has 3 pairs of joint legs, okay, and usually one or two pair of wings. Reproductive organs are located in the abdomen. Open circulatory system is there, where oxygen enters through their opening channel, or like we can also nuchal organ is also called. Okay, the system of two life cycles, like once it develops eggs and then they become a larva or caterpillar. Half life of they spent as a caterpillar, then they made a pupa, or they go in the hibernation period, they form a pupa, and after some period of time they become adult other insect. The form is completely different from caterpillar, and these two different variations in the one life cycle is called it as metamorphosis. And so they do have a metamorphosis. The incomplete metamorphosis is also there, like eggs become a nymph. Okay, nymph, not the larva, and nymph become a adult organism. So they spend half of lifetime within these two stages. So it is the incomplete metamorphosis. The another group, another phyla is called it as arachnids. Now what are arachnids? They are spider, they are scorpion, they are ticks, mites, everything. They have a two main body parts. The one is the cephalothorax and the other one is abdomen. You can see that the scorpions and all other spiders, they belongs to this arachnids family. The thorax has a four pair of joined legs. No antenna is developed at all. They do have a special mouth parts like a fangs, and they kill more insect pests than any other animal. So they are also called it as super bugs or super predators. The another arthropod are there, like the another class is myriapods. The myriapods, centipedes and millipedes are there. You have almost have seen such a kinds of organisms at the time of rainy season around your home or house. Centipedes use their many legs to run from enemies. One pair of joined leg is attached to each segment, so each segment has one pair of legs. They are basically predators. Millipedes roll up their body when they sense danger approaching, so they roll up like that way. So two pairs of joined legs attached to each segment, and then they become like they roll it like that way. They feed on a plant saps or some plant's external material. Another one is crustaceans, the another class. Okay, completely that class is contains shrimps, barnacles, crabs, crayfish, lobster, large brachiopods, small brachiopods, everything. So almost all crustaceans are aquatic and they have a gills. So like sometimes they are also called it as filter feeders. All have two pairs of antenna, three types of chewing appendages are there, and five pairs of legs are there. The next one is echinodermata, and now in these phyla the starfish and sea urchins comes up. They belongs to group of invertebrate that have a tiny tube feet and the body part. Okay, they are tiny tube feet and body parts arranged around the central area. The starfish has a 5 arms and no head is there. The hard and spiny covering of starfish gives the animal protection. Sea urchins also belongs to the same group. Its body is covered with the spine. They have a radial symmetry. Diet vary from predator to predator. Sometimes they are filter feeders, and sometimes they eat rotting material also in the marine environment or in the ocean. Spiny skin covering an internal skeleton of plates. Water vascular systems are there to help them move and eat. Some can reproduce through regeneration from parts. These are how they looks like, the starfish. Okay, and these are the sea urchins. More, it is the very important model organism in developmental biology. Based on these organism only we have studied the reproduction, the fusion of sperms and ova in the organism, and then we have made so many discoveries from this animal. So that's why it is the biggest model organism in developmental biology. I hope so you understood these different classes, different phyla of invertebrates, and we'll see the classification of vertebrate in the next lecture. Okay, bye bye.